So I am back again with one of these videos where we talk about what could have been, what we could have been given in place of something else when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront 2. James has put together yet another list. He's basically running the channel at this point, and he's put together this list based on all the ideas from the last video that were in the comments section. So it goes without saying, a big thank you to him as always. Let's move into his list. We are starting off with, instead of the ATRTs, the ATAPs. Now the ATAP was a concept used for Kashyyyk from episode 3. It's a pretty cool walker, and I have to say I'd love something like this, which would probably include a bit more firepower compared to the smaller ATRT. The ATRTs are just pretty useless in Battlefront 2, they need some sort of buff, and I'm hoping the new vehicles at least that are coming with Geonosis are a lot more useful in game than these things are. Now instead of Hooded Yoda, which is a skin I personally like, we could have a helmetless Boba Fett, and I'm glad James picked up on this one because I saw this a lot in the comments section of the last video. This would be so easy to do because we've got Jango's face in the game for the clones. Boba is a clone, believe it or not, so he would have the same face. They could just make a few adjustments and boom, you've got yourselves a helmetless Boba Fett. Now we have the Dakar space map in Battlefront 2, and it's no secret that yes, while a lot of people do like the sequels, when it comes to games at least, the prequels are much more appreciated. And that's definitely been shown with a Battle of Coruscant mod that was made that attracted a lot of attention. So why not give us the Battle of Coruscant over the Battle of Dakar? It's much more iconic and much more beloved by the fans. Now up next, instead of Iden's TIE Fighter, we could have the Corvus, and this is something that really did surprise me because a year ago I thought there was a very high chance that we would be playing as the Corvus at some point in Battlefront 2, but instead we were just given another TIE Fighter. This is a pretty easy one, and something I'd really like to see, however I highly doubt it now. There's always got to be a few shots at EA in these lists, and just my videos in general to be honest. So instead of the 104th and 91st skins, or this version of them we got in Battlefront 2, we could actually get the real 104th and 91st skins. What about that? Another point here, throwing some shade at EA and DICE. Instead of moving the collection screen around, we could have had original trilogy and sequel era playlists. We had the prequel one, or the priority prequel playlist, which has now disappeared. We could have had something for the OT and the sequel trilogy as well. And instead of fixing the chickens, they could have fixed all the animals in the game, because clearly the immersion is just broken right now. It's like every animal is broken in Battlefront 2 and they need to spend more time on stuff like this. But moving on to a more serious point, why not instead of the Weequay, the Biff? It would be a really cool species to have in the game. The Weequay and the Nikito for me are just really dull, I have to say. We are getting Bark Speeders with the Geonosis DLC, which I'm absolutely fine with, but where were the Geonosian Starfighters? I would have to put the Geonosian Starfighters over the Bark Speeders as well as he's done in this list. It's Geonosis, and you don't include the Starfighters. That doesn't quite compute. The infamous Wookiees in all eras could have offered Clone Commandos instead. Clone Commandos are pretty cool. Who doesn't love Commando Gregor? I would love to see these guys, but instead we just get Wookiees in the prequels, the OT, and the sequels. Now here's an epic one. Instead of that boring Unknown Regions Starfighter Assault map, why not actually give players a reason to want to play this game mode, which is pretty abandoned, I would say at this point. I don't really see anybody playing it. Why not give us a Death Star Starfighter Assault map? And I'm not talking about the Death Star debris, oh no, I'm talking about the actual Death Star Assault, a bit like in Battlefront 1. Well, this one could be based on the second Death Star. We have an indoor map for the second Death Star in Battlefront 2, a space map would be rather nice as well. I think the references are just strong on this list because instead of Kylo Ren we could have Snoke, because apparently every time I play as Kylo Ren I rage. It's kinda true. Without that health card that I believe he's getting, he's so useless, so if they remove Kylo Ren tomorrow I wouldn't care, even if he was a decent hero. I wouldn't care, I don't really like Kylo Ren, but moving on, we're getting so distracted here. The Mirrorland, this one breaks my heart because I love the Mirrorland skin, it's my favourite one, but instead of that we could have the Ishitib. To this I say why not both? The Mirrorland's my favourite skin in the game right now for infantry, but the Ishitib was my favourite skin from the last game, so we gotta add them both in. Instead of the 327 skins we could have the Galactic Marines, just another option for the Clone Troopers. They could filter this game with so many options for the Clone Troopers, and I doubt anyone would complain unless they just delivered more inaccurate skins. Here's one I see floating around everywhere, Geonosian Hunt over Ewok Hunt. I am very surprised about how much people want Geonosian Hunt, but it is highly requested, so I'd definitely say EA and DICE have to consider this one. And finally, Obi-Wan over Bosk. I believe it was Bosk over Anakin, but Obi-Wan over Bosk, maybe, soon, in November. Not maybe, definitely we'll be seeing some encounters between Obi-Wan and Bosk. But that is where we're going to leave it for this video. A few memes in today's video for you avid watchers of the channel. Thank you for watching, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed. And maybe we'll end up doing another part to this series because it's just nice to take a look at what could have been. But I will see you all next time.